Sherry.
The Policy Committee canceled the meeting of February 27th, as I informed you earlier, and we met on Friday the 13th of March, Friday the 13th being a good day.
It was a good day.
And we had a meeting. We had all our quorum, a full discussion and update and consideration and review of the bylaws for 2009. And I believe that each and every one of you has received a copy of the bylaws.
I didn't receive.
Everybody has?
I didn't get a copy.
I emailed them out to everybody.
Yeah.
It said from Gmail's bylaws.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't get that. I guess I was not included in that email.
So I would like to ask for a motion to approve these. They've certainly been on the table long enough. All of the review that we gave, additions, deletions, we followed the town attorney and the items that he had so noted, and I'd like a motion to approve those. I'd like to submit that to you, Madam Chairman, for approval.
All right.
And if it is approved, pending final review by town council.
All right. So, and that takes us right into the first item of unfinished business. So back to the motion at hand. We have a motion on the floor to accept the changes as presented by the policy committee, noting that town attorney had reviewed them and made some suggestions, and there would be final review of town attorney before they were adopted fully.
Do
Is
we
there
know
a
what
second?
do we know what the changes are?
We discussed it at the last board meeting. They were the changes that were addressed.
Some of these changes are new. that
Let's
have not been
have a
discussed.
second to the motion before we have
Why do
discussion.
we have a discussion? We have a discussion.
Yeah, we're going to, just a second. Can we have discussion? Do we know what the changes are?
Usually they're italicized or they're...
Right.
The font
Yeah,
is
that's why I'm
different, so we
asking.
have quite a comparison. I mean, right off the bat, I take exception to that piece in Article 5. But it would have been helpful had, when this was written up, if we could have had some kind of distinction in the specifically, I take exception to the fact that the library board director administrator shall be under the supervision of the chairman of the library board of directors as specified.
Article 5.
It's in the second...
Article 5, paragraph A, the last sentence.
I see that as a lapse of the responsibility of the 11 board members to allow one board member to be responsible for the director, the library director. We're a board of 12. I think we should all be included in that process.
Okay. It is? I got the personnel policy. Under, you know where it is, under the personnel policy?
I can tell you that thinking of the committee that day was that it's difficult for the library director to have 12 bosses, that it's a difficult thing.
Well, I think, no, I don't. I think we present a unified front. I think things need to be discussed. I'd be concerned about any kind of legal ramification. I'd be ceding my rights as a board member of a board of director to allow one person to speak for me. I would be concerned about that.
And this has been an issue before. This has come up before when we were, revising this.
Right.
Well, it does say it's specified in the approved personnel policy.
And that's what we're trying to find, where it says that.
Okay, so what's the next?
I know that. And then just on that, also in C, I I thought the library board of directors oversees the library. We oversee Lynn, but we don't really have anything to do with the staff.
Yeah,
The library
that's it.
director and administrator and the staff shall be subject to a library board of directors approved review process. I think that's in conflict with what...
No, that says that the library board of directors would approves the review process and includes clearly defined job descriptions and annual goals and objectives.
The library... We review the library director, but we don't review the staff, the library staff.
Yeah, it doesn't say review them, it says the review process. I mean, I can see where maybe we should take the staff out.
Yeah, I think anything that says staff, I mean, the staff doesn't come under our jurisdiction per se.
No, the staff does not come under our jurisdiction.
So it would also be in B as well, because B also refers to staff.
And approved by the local board of directors in full compliance with the town and state personnel policies. I don't think I've ever seen that before in here, have I?
We do fall under the town code.
You have to, you have to follow, it's kind of redundant, really. You have to follow town and state laws.
But that's different than personnel policies. I mean, speaking on, I take my own personal self out of this, but a library director would work under personnel policies established by the library board. How can that person also work under personnel policies established by the town and the state? There could be conflict.
It doesn't say established, it says and in full compliance.
Full compliance.
It says that the policies...
But they're policies,
it says
it's a little bit different
that the
than-
policies would be in compliance with town and state, so that puts the onus on the board to write policies that are in compliance with town and state. Maybe personnel
yes.
policies is not the right word, but town and state.
Well, I can understand town and state statutes or laws, however, but personnel policies connotes a different meaning.
Lynn, if anything happened and you were not satisfied...
I understand.
No, if you're not satisfied, say, with a ruling by the library board, just for argument's sake, regarding your employment, you have the right to appeal to the Board of Selectmen.
Yes, I know. I know that.
Yeah.
But it's more...
And it does fall
I
under-
understand fully
yeah.
being in compliance with
Yeah.
the town charter, the town code, the state laws, the labor laws, et cetera, et cetera. But that's different than personnel policies. It sounds like the director has to abide by 3 sets of personnel policies: the town, the state, and the libraries.
Well, I know we can't violate personnel policy if it's against town code.
No, but that's not what this says.
It's a
This says
wording.
that
It's
based-
the wording you
It's the
don't-
language.
It's
the
based
language.
on policies which are approved by the library board of directors, and the policies are in full compliance with state. It's redundant that you say that we're going to follow the law, but that's really what
That's
that
what you're
says.
saying.
That's
Yeah.
what we were saying.
Right. But I think it should say that then.
It's a
States.
means of protecting employees, including yourself.
I can't locate where it does state that the library director shall be under the supervision of the chairman of the board of directors. I'm just trying to find it in here.
See, I have the old ones.
Article
old,
5A.
old.
Yes.
It is there.
Article 5A, in the new one.
The new one.
No, not in the policy. Oh, you're looking in the policy?
Yeah. Because it refers to the personnel policy, and I can't find it in the personnel policy, that's all.
But we have the 2002 personnel policy. That may have.
No, I don't think so.
This is,
He's got the latest.
yeah, I've got the latest one.
2002 one that we have.
But that part didn't change anyway.
No.
That's been
I've got
consistent.
April 2008 here.
I would like to.
Okay, go right ahead.
I like what Leslie said, because I agree that she would not have 12 bosses. I mean, we are a body, we are a board, and we discuss things and come to an agreement on something. So there's one decision made, and it either passes or fails, you know.
You know, and that...
Well, one decision made that passes, rather.
And in theory, that's correct, but she's come to me several times saying that one director has asked her to do this, and another's asked her to do this, and I've asked her to do something else. And...
Well, we have to...
Well, any decision that you would make regarding Lynn would be brought to the library board anyway, correct? I mean, major, right, whatever. And you meet with Lynn almost, what, every other day?
Well, not quite that frequently. We email a lot.
We email.
Oh, email, all right. That's it away.
I think I have 7 emails in my box from her at the moment.
So what are we doing with it?
Well, we have to input from some other folks.
If it says it in the personnel policy and that was approved, then leave it. If it doesn't, then take it out.
You know, we really... The bylaws, you know, are the first document, and then the policies should go down from there. So I can't find it in there, but it shouldn't be the other way around. You know what I mean?
Well, then I agree with the concept of the body of people making the decision.
Dan, what do you think?
If we're stating something somewhere it's not, we can't make that statement. I know what you're saying about the order, but everything else has to be brought to the board, correct?
What do you mean, everything?
Everything else that is decided on by the board has to be brought to the board after it goes to the subcommittees, and I don't know why we would change that. I just don't understand why that would be different.
It's almost like we need to have the old one in front of us, and then the changes italicized, so we can go back and see, and then ask why the change was made from...
But we made motions to accept all those changes at last month's
In
meeting.
December.
Yes.
A lot of this stuff was not in those changes from December.
There are changes in here which were recommended by the attorney, like the first paragraph, where we lay out the purpose of the board.
Right.
I mean, that wasn't in the original document, nor did we discuss that in December, but it was his recommendation that, and all bylaws are meant to have the purpose of the
This would be your notice.
of the entity in the opening paragraph.
I don't
Do you
think I
want to
can...
submit this to town council before we vote on it? Have him look at the review?
He wanted us to vote on it and approve it before. I sent it to him after we met, and he said we should approve it before he looks at it.
But there's changes in here that were not discussed in the December, so you can submit this to this board at this month for review, but according to Article 6A, you need to have, it can't be approved until next month. You have to submit it one month and approve it the following month.
You're correct, Lynn.
If I could make a comment, I don't know, because you said that you guys have all talked about these in December. I don't think I could even qualifiably really have an opinion on this.
Well, you
Right,
have a month.
Yeah, and the point is that the review of the bylaws is meant to take place at this time of the year,
Okay.
and it didn't happen last year until that committee didn't meet until, I think the first time they met was May. So...
I'll remove my motion. I'll make a new motion.
Okay.
The bylaws have been sent, you've all been notified, you've received them, and you have a month to review them, and we'll discuss them at next month's meeting, and that's my motion.
I second that.
Yeah,
Any discussion?
makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
All in favor?
Aye.
Would you please send me a copy, electronic copy of the bylaws, this proposed change?
You didn't get
I did not second the motion.
when they were mailed to me.
I didn't get them.
No,
They were mailed to me from your office.
no, they weren't.
No, they weren't.
No, I apologize.
I didn't get a notice of the meeting, and I didn't get a copy of the bylaws.
Okay.
Well, it was stamped at Bethel Public Library, that's why I assumed they came from you.
No, they didn't. Well, no, they didn't. I didn't even know there was a meeting. I didn't get notice of the meeting, and I didn't get a copy of the bylaws, proposed revisions.
Okay. So the Steve Lippy concert, the Friends are going to take that over soup to nuts. So, announcements. As you probably all know, you should have gotten this in your mailbox.
I didn't.
You didn't get it?
Nope.
Well, that's interesting.
I did.
I did.
We sent out 5,300 of them, and I have another about 275 that's the Chamber of Commerce list, which will go out tomorrow. I didn't know how to do the bulk mailing thing, so when Lynn was on vacation, I couldn't figure that out by myself. So a big thanks to Bob and to Lynn. We worked as a great team to put this together. I'm really proud of this piece. I've gotten a lot of good feedback about it, and I'm also really proud of how well we worked together to put it together. I'm not sure the lady from the News Times.
Well,
She
what it
had
takes
like
to get it
3
done
really
right.
nitpicky people to deal with. No, you have to change this. This has to be like this. But it came out really great, so I'm really happy about that. So thanks to Tom and Elisa and Lorraine for marching in the parade yesterday. We had a good time. We
I
got
was on
lots
the
of cheers.
sidelines, Madam Chairman.
Yes, Jerry was there cheering us on.
Did you get the banner, the green banner?
I did get it. It's in my car, and I was going to bring it in to you, and then I figured you're not going back into the library, so I'll just drop it off tomorrow. But yeah, Kara Signs took off the other numbers and put 9s on for us, free of charge. So
Looks good.
it looks good, yeah. They did something to that one crack, like it's not open anymore. So I don't know
They must
what
have
they.
fixed it.
They must have some kind of, vinyl patch kit. So it looks good, and we can put it up in front of the building. So that's
Madam
good.
Chairman, may I just say that everyone looked terrific marching yesterday. It was first class. You all looked great. And Mr. Gator made us all very, very proud leading the American Legion in his Marine Blues, his dress uniform. He really looked sharp. So,
Take a picture, Liz?
Yeah.
Next time is today.
Yeah.
Okay. The town budget passed, woohoo. So we don't have to worry about that. That's
People voted, right?
what.
So sad how people voted.
It's really amazing how few voted, because usually we get a little bit better turnout.
I don't think it was very well advertised, publicized.
Well,
Yeah.
there was a reason why only 3,000 people voted. You want to know, or?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Sure.
There was absolutely no reason, no real reason for them to vote or not vote. Budget was at 0. That's
Was no
typically where taxpayers
No politics.
drive, hope for, in the scheme of things. So there was no reason to do it.
It wasn't a hotly contested.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
there was nothing to contest.
All right. It's true. Everybody was for it, so anyway, that was good. So, and then just one last announcement. I emailed out to you all, excluding Jerry, a sample of the business card, which thanks to Dan for arranging with Bethel Printing to get free business cards for all of us. So I'm just going to pass this around. Look over your numbers and your email and your name and make sure everything is spelled correctly, and then just initial it. And I will, these will get started tomorrow. And he said they'll take about 10 days. When they're done, I'll send out an email, and you can pick them up at the library.
these aren't proofs, are they?
Yes, that is the proof.
Do you want initials on the proof?
No, it's not. No. I'm gonna send him an electronic proof. This is
all
a
right.
draft of the proof. So yes, I do want initials on this.
Just thought I would ask.
Okay. You just have that email from
Yeah, I'll
Eileen.
just-
We don't need to read that into. Okay. All right.
It's part of the House Committee.
All right. I don't have any correspondence. If no one else has any.
I do have correspondence. At the last meeting, Bob Cernick was kind enough to recommend that those of us who did not agree with the passing of the bylaws write up a minority opinion letter, and that we did. This is from Leslie Mason, Lorraine Go, Terry Rotella, and myself. I'll just pass it around. Obviously, we're not going to discuss it, but just so you can read it and see some of the issues that we have with the revision.
So we're not going to discuss.
Can't discuss it.
Okay. Development Committee report.
Well, you obviously briefed everyone about the town mailer. I guess the total cost on it came in below $2,000, around $1,980.
Have you seen the invoice? I haven't received the invoice.
I'm sorry.
Well, we're looking at postage of $707, and I think the other part of it is approximately, essentially an email. It's going to come in below $2,000. So we budgeted $2,600. So once again, we came in under budget. So we sent it out to 5,300 households. I guess the concern I had is, have we gotten any responses at all?
We didn't check the mail today. Leslie does that, and she had to work today.
I tried, yeah, I'm at work, and by the time I get home.
Yeah,
I tried before I came to the meeting tonight, hoping that maybe the outside doors would be open to have access to the mailbox, but...
Well, that comes into the post office.
Yeah,
Right. Okay.
so
That's the problem.
We did get
we'll
one
get it
inquiry about
tomorrow
a
and
pledge.
check it out. I have
It's only been a number of days.
Yeah.
Right, since the,
Yeah, it was in home Wednesday, so,
Yeah.
I don't envision people rushing to write checks, but it would be nice to get some kind of a bump.
Yeah, no, I'll bet there are a few checks in the mailbox. A lot of people ask me about it at St. Mary's Carnival, at the parade, at the Cub Scout picnic. So I know people are looking at it and talking about it. One question that I got from a lot of people, which I think we should talk about, was could they pledge now and pay in installments? And we absolutely have the ability to do that. So if someone wants to pay $50 a month for the next 6 months, we can do that. We can charge their credit card. So I would encourage them to fill out this form and send it in or bring it to the library. And if they want to be billed later, there's a thing here that says bill my credit card. They can also make a note that they want to pay in installments, and then Lynn and I discussed that today, we'll call them and work that out.
we've done that in the past, with the first
Yeah.
campaign, people did pay
Yeah.
in installments.
Okay. Assuming we have about $600 left in that account encumbered because we were under budget, I don't necessarily want to not use that money because I envision a follow-up mailer or a follow-up newspaper insert, and that would be essentially a reminder and update at status to the community as to how much money we've gotten to date from our town-wide activity. And that's an interesting ploy, because what happens here is that, let's say, 3 weeks from now, we've gotten X amount of dollars, but it's clearly less than what we would like to have gotten. And we can send out an insert, either in the News Times, which would cost about $400, or we can possibly, talk about doing it in more direct fashion, or actually through the Penny Saver, which would cost about $600. Where we would essentially just give the community an update in terms of how much we've collected since we, since the mailer went out, and basically a reminder, that we still need the money, and if you haven't, if the pledge form is sitting on your desk, you could send it in at this point or whatever, but the message would be a reminder message.
Could we not have an article in the paper, like have a reporter cover it?
We have,
Feedback on that?
Yeah, we could do that too as well.
Leslie, what we have planned for that is a preview of Old Home Day and the gala, and some centennial things with a reminder at the end that we're still in the capital campaign.
Right. So we can do that, mix that message into it, obviously, or
Yeah.
blend that into it, because frankly, that has to be promoted. I don't know whether I think, is money encumbered in that, in the Centennial account? I think there is.
We encumbered $5,000 for the entire centennial, so we have to,
We go look at that.
we're meeting on Thursday, so.
Okay, so beyond that, you have a Chamber of Commerce mailer that's going out. Beyond that, I couldn't really envision approaching the top 50 prospects who, could potentially give us a lot more money or make a legacy donation until this town-wide mailer was sent out. And the primary reason for that is that if I were approached by someone from the library board and asked, to make a sizable donation, one of the first questions that I would ask is that what other efforts have you made in terms of collecting or asking for donations from the rest of the community? And I believe an anonymous donor at some point in time even asked that question during the course of obtaining that large and sizable anonymous donation. They had asked what efforts were made. So I know that previous efforts were made, but clearly, the more examples of town-wide efforts that we can make in advance of pursuing some of the larger prospects, to me, adds credibility to the sincerity of why we're actually approaching the larger donors or prospective donors. Because, frankly, we have fallen short in terms of getting enough money from the town at large. So it all works together in terms of being able to make a sincere and credible pitch, presentation. So that's that. So along those lines, we are going to identify the top 50 or so, or top 100 targets, and make a direct appeal to them. And I think Shani is going to more or less draft the chairman's letter, which will be followed up by a phone call.
Business. I just wanted to, since we just sent out this mailer, I just wanted everyone to make sure that they were up to date on the money that we've raised to date and what's what, where, and how it affects our project. So the state construction grant we received in February of 2008, and that has a time frame of 18 months. So it's expiring this August, which is not far away. We have applied for an extension, a one-year extension. The letter's been sent. And in July, did you get a date? No, you didn't. You just told me that.
I sent her an email.
In July,
It's toward the end of the month.
Lynn and the first selectman and myself get to go and beg for that to be extended. We have our private foundation funds, and that's set. We have our other, the Rubino gift, the state bond we just discussed, and then we got, in March, the Commission on Tourism and Culture. So, and then we have cash pledges of $2 million. So we just need $1 million to go, and I just say that, I know, just $1 million.
I left my
but
checkbook in the truck.
I'll recess the meeting, Dan. You can go get it. So Leslie had a grants meeting last week. So we're applying for some other grants. One of the grants we're applying for is the Kresge Foundation grant, and it's a challenge grant. And part of the challenge is that the board members contribute. It doesn't say how much they have to contribute, but that the board has contributed. So if you have plans to contribute, it would be great if you could do it now while we're in the process of applying for that grant. And then there's some other grants that we're applying for. And Bob reported on the other stuff. So I just want, I know that a lot of people are talking to me, and I'm sure that people are talking to the rest of you about this around town. So just be aware, just be aware where the funding is and what we have to go. And it would be really great if everybody could make an effort to talk to their friends and family and get pledges. They don't have to actually write a check, but if we can get pledges by August, then the building committee, because they're going to go ahead, they can scale down the project, and I really want to build a great library, so if we can really move forward with that stuff. Does anybody have any questions about where we are with the capital campaign?
So the $1 million that's left to go, does that include all the furnishings and?
Yeah. It's a complete library, ready to go, sit down and start using the computer.
And you said something about they might scale down the project?
A situation that could arise if the money's not raised and we're tasked with bringing a project in on time, on budget, is we will go with the money that we have. And that would create a nightmare scenario whereby we'd scale down the project, scale down the plans so that we are actually in the number we need to be within now. Nobody wants that as an option.
Yeah, because I would think that would just cause such a nightmare of red tape and everything else with all the...
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
everything that we've
the
already
state
applied
grant, the
for,
state
because
grant is
everything is based on...
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The two state grants that we have
Oh,
are,
my gosh.
it would be a nightmare.
You mean the building, you're speaking of the building committee?
Yes.
Scaling down?
Based on the money that's on hand.
I don't
Pledged.
think
In
so.
what way are they talking about scaling down?
Basically, the task that was given is to finish the project on time, on budget. So you look at what money do we have now
What do they mean
budgeted.
by on time? What's on time? What's the time?
That would be established, I'm assuming, by the construction manager.
Okay.
So,
Well, they haven't hired anyone yet.
no,
Right.
absolutely not. So that's just a worst-case
The
nightmare
building
scenario.
committee is aware about the requirements of the state library grant, that they
And-
can't necessarily do that without their permission.
They will be made doubly aware of all of those
Okay.
this Wednesday night.
Okay. We'll be there.
My point is just that there's some
And triply
urgency.
aware,
Yeah,
There's some urgency for us to raise this money.
When they were made aware of that at their first meeting. I
They've been
addressed
made
the issue.
aware
Yeah.
continually.
Yeah, well, I
For the
addressed the
last
issue
couple
to
of
the new
years,
building
yeah.
committee,
Yeah.
so it was
Yeah.
well addressed.
They understand, and they will have a complete understanding of the complexities
Yes.
with all of the grants
Yes.
this Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay.